Aloha my kako, beautiful souls across our blessed and beloved planet Mother Earth. It is Laumalian of New Culture 808 coming to you live with my beautiful angelic soul star sister, Amber of Starr Council Legacy. And we're in November, so ha'oli Novemapa. Happy November, everybody. We made it through the ancestral gateway, although I suppose the ancestors are always around. And we are sending you and your beloveds all the best wherever you may be and whenever you watch this. So thank you so much for tuning in. Ah, alrighty. So Amber and I were just catching up offline, and I love our conversations because they're just so juicy and full of so many gems and downloads and all the things. And then I was like, Amber, yo, we have to record. I mean, we don't have to, but we have the opportunity, and we did just want to share some Aloha transmissions to the world from Kapai'aina o Hawaii. So we're gonna try to keep this short, just to, a little bit more digestible, because we were saying how 15 minutes is maybe a little less intimidating than 55. So Amber, we were talking about solar activity, and you're kind of sharing of some of your recent experiences. Would you like to share with the collective how things have been for you and your vessel, and just maybe what's going on upstairs with the sun?
Aloha, everybody. Thank you, Wen. So grateful to be here with you today and all of you. And yeah, it's November. What is today? November 3rd? 3rd. Yeah, November 3rd. Yes, for me, it was a very intense, energetic weekend with the veil being thin. It's always the thinnest around this time of the year. So for me, I have to just conserve my energy as much as I can and be very cautious of where I am and who I surround myself with. And anyways, um, that being said, we've had some solar flares, and then this morning we just had a M class 5 and some other solar activity. So they, I believe this week also we're gonna have a bunch of CMEs hitting us. So energetically, it's gonna be another intense week. Yay! Another intense roller coaster ride. And then we were talking about the comet 3i Atlas and how they have observed it from going from a reddish color to now passing the sun, and it's turned blue now, which means that it's burning hotter than our sun, according to the scientists. So that's interesting. And we were just again saying how this comet is going to be going by the 3 different planets in a perfect triangle, and all the planets will be in water signs as it gets its closest approach to these planets. And that I believe that it's going to be changing our DNA and our water, because it's going to be affecting directly the water, and we are water, and water is life. So yeah, I feel like we are all in for some intense energy times. So just everybody take care of yourselves. Remember self-care. Remember to hydrate. Lemon water, sea salt, little maple syrup if you need it. Make your own Gatorade. But yeah, that'll be really helpful in these times. That's the lemon will help with the solar plexus. A lot of solar plexus activity going on. It's definitely been happening for me. A lot of nausea and just even little motion sickness, dizziness feeling. But grounded on the ground, if you can, lay on the ground, belly on the ground, solar plexus. That'll always help just clear those energies if there's some of you out there that have sensitivities to the energies. And then what else were we talking about?
Yes, mahalo for sharing all of that. And
Yes.
before we go into the next paragraph, thank you for the pro tip about the water, and then also laying face down on the grass or like solar play, because I usually am on my back like all the time. I don't know if I've ever really just face down in the grass. So I will try that technique out. And yes, so we'll segue into Kilo. So Amber was just about to share with me her downloads and insights about Kilo, Kilo, which is Hawaiian. So Hawaiian word and Hawaiian consciousness. So Amber, I will pass it over to you.
Yes, thank you. So Kilo, which is central to Kanaka Maoli knowledge and survival, this practice goes beyond simple observation. It is a profound intergenerational science of sustained, intimate, and predictive observation of the natural world. It is the wisdom that informed nearly every aspect of traditional Hawaiian life, including fishing, farming, travel, and even governance. And then the practice of Kilo, watching, examining, and forecasting. The word Kilo literally means to watch closely, examine, look around, observe, or forecast. It's not just what you see, but how you perceive the deeper, subtle relationships between the elements. And then the first one is the method, quiet, subtle observation. Unlike Western science, which often brings with a hypothesis, Kilo begins with quiet, stillness, and openness. Practitioners are taught to be present, fully immerse all senses, sight, sound, smell, and feeling in the environment. Focus on the subtle. Look for the let's see if I can pronounce this word. Ho'alilano, signs or omens. So you're going to look for signs or omens in nature, such as shifts in the wind's scent, a change in the color of the ocean swells, or a specific behavior of a bird. And then build a relationship. Kilo is fundamentally about building a relationship with a place, aina. It means understanding a location as living, breathing, entity, allowing the answers to come to you on their own terms. So it's a breathing entity, the aina. So let's see. So then the next one is the spheres of Kilo knowledge. Kilo is often categorized into different spheres of observation, each tied to a specific type of resource management. Sphere of Kilo, focus of observation, purpose, application, Kilo Lani, the sky and the celestial bodies used for celestial navigation, which is Kilo Hoku. Creating the Hawaiian calendar, Ku Lana Mahina, and the long range weather forecasting. So basically, they would use Kilo they would watch the clouds, the movement, the sunrise, the sunset for the weather forecasting, and then Kilo Hanua, which is the land and the earthly elements, observing rainfall patterns, the flow of fresh water, which is Vai, which is life, and the health of the forest and the soil to determine the best times and locations for planting and cultivation. Kilo Kai, the ocean and marine life, tracking ocean currents, wave patterns, and the spawning cycles of fish and invertebrates. This knowledge dictates when and where to fish to ensure the sustainability of the resource. And then number 3, Kilo as prophecy and sustainability. The greatest predictive power of Kilo lies in its ability to read patterns over time. By observing and recording data over generations, often encoded in chants, songs, and mo'olelo, which is stories, Kanaka Maoli could anticipate seasonal shifts, droughts, and changes in resource availability. The prophecy of Malama Aina, caring for the land, is embedded in Kilo. The practice is not just to gain knowledge, but to gain the kuleana, right, responsibility, and privilege to care for that place. if the knowledge gained through a kilo is disregarded. For example, if a community ignores the signs that a fish stock is depleting, it is a violation of the sacred relationship with the land and ocean, leading to predictable negative outcomes. In short, Kilo is the ongoing real-time forecast that guides the Kanaka Maoli towards abundance and sustainable survival. So that was a little bit about Kilo, and that's, the native Hawaiians were able to survive off of their instincts, right? And off of observing the land and working with the land and working with the animals and sink. And if there was a depletion of the fish, then they would draw back and, obviously respect that until it was ready to provide in that sense again. So it's just the Hawaiian culture really has the answers to world peace and the answers to how to care for the land and work with the land, and they are the stewards of this land and the earth and hold that knowledge. And that's, while we're here and here to support that and hold that vision that we all come together and bring that back and share that with the world. So
Mahalo nui, thank you for sharing. And yeah, those were quite some downloads. I knew a little bit, but not quite that in depth. And then I feel ho'ailona, I think is the word that you were wondering about. So that's a sign or an omen. So I'll see rainbows. I saw a dear friend, and I actually saw he ho'ailona, a sign, I kalani in the heavens in the skies last night. We did a little magic on the street corner for the highest good of all. We did a street blessing. It was our first one actually. So I didn't get around to telling you about that, but maybe when we jump back offline, I would love to share. But it was a ki'i. It was an image, like a petroglyph man in the sky, and then the moon was right there popping through clouds. And so it was all very,
ooh.
I feel, auspicious. And it goes back to what you were saying about Kilo. I feel, to summarize to a certain degree what you expressed, right and reciprocal relationship with the land, and respect, as well as observation, the sacred knowing, and just understanding, awareness, consciousness of the natural rhythms of the world, the natural world. How else was I love the intergenerational bit. Like when you mentioned that, I feel in the first few lines, and it's an intergenerational knowing of that has been built because of the reciprocity, right? Because of the observation. I was just like, wow, that's really quite profound. And there's so much mana, there's so much wisdom in it. And so I love how you have shared that with us today and acknowledge that. And I agree wholeheartedly that the mana and the consciousness of Na Kanaka Oiwi, Na Kanaka Maoli, the native people of Hawaii, there's a lot of major keys in terms of world peace and how we can go back to the earth and to these traditional ways of knowing and right living, reciprocal living with the earth and the natural environment and with each other. And that will and is contributing to a more sustainable future for ourselves and for the children. So I'm excited. There's a lot of work to be done. And so I'm reframing things in my mind, kind of how I mentioned last video, but there's a lot of good work, and I forget, I'll have to learn how to say it in Ikaolalo Hawaii in Hawaiian, but there's a no'eau in a proverb where many hands make light work. And so, yeah, this is just our humble meeting of hearts and minds. Amber again is over there on Mama Maui. I'm holding up the frequency here, Ma Oahu on Oahu, and these are the Aloha transmissions. So this is maybe the second or third video I think we'll be posting to YouTube. And truly, I feel like I speak for both of us when I say that we're just coming from a place of love, from the pu'uwai, from our heart, sharing our aloha, our love with highest intention, so that these frequencies, these prayers go out to Mother Earth, because we do realize there's a lot going on in the world. It's just the Earth is just ascending. We're in the midst of the Great Transition, and so just praying for peace, praying for healing, and all the things, especially for the many people who are suffering right now. And a rising tide lifts all ships. So just if we can come back to ourselves and come back to our hearts, really, because um, at least speaking for myself and my consciousness and my humble perspective, would people be killing other people and committing violence and atrocities if their hearts were open? Probably not, because they would recognize that that's wrong. They would recognize that they would recognize humanity, right, internally and externally. And so that's just my humble perspective and opinion. Um, but I do continue to pray for the end of all war and suffering on this planet. And I know, humans been scrapping for a long time, but I feel like now is the time, dear ones. And so just continuing to publicly express that and learning to be more confident in that prayer. Um, let's try to get along and do some good things for the kids. So yeah, that's how I feel. With all of that being said, mahalo nui loa for tuning in. I will turn it back over to Amber. Do you have anything that you would like to leave the collective with today, my dear?
Again, thank you everyone for showing up on Earth right now in this time, and just know that you are enough. And leave you with a little mantra to say when you wake up and when you go to sleep at night, and it's just say it 3 times. I am the I am, and I am enough. I am the I am, and I am enough. I am the I am, and I am enough. That's it. You don't have to just let everything else go, guys. Just let it all go. You are enough. You are abundance in all of its forms already. You are whole. And it's just getting our consciousness and perceiving it from the highest perspective and opening our hearts and cooling our poo by our hearts, and if you guys need any assistance with that, just let us know. You can give us a little message in the comments, or if we can send energy to whatever you guys are needing energy sent to. But just know that you're not alone, and you're seen, heard, and we are all one. We're all in this together. And just don't forget, remember who and what you are. And you are just a fractal of just pure love, unconditional awareness. You're the awareness of love. And so we love you. We thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all that you do, just being your frequency, and just know that you are enough. Remember you're enough, and just clear the distortions that are not you, that have been programmed in you for lifetimes. They're not yours. So just Ho'oponopono yourself. I'm sorry. I love you. Thank you. Please forgive me. And clear the data, guys. Just clear it away. It's all good. You're perfect and divine, just as you are. Just all here having an experience together. So let's just join together, and like Wen said, make our hands, when we come together, it's lighter work on all of us. And that's what we could all definitely thrive with. So let's go. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Aloha. Love you guys. Sending love from Maui.
Aloha from Oahu and from Hawaii. Wishing you all a wonderful, blessed week. Mahalo for tuning in. And remember, I am the I am, and I am enough.
That's right.
Aloha, guys.